Welcome back to Dracon's Plays Dark Souls Remastered. Alright, so for today, we're rocking the Great Scythe +9, the Spiked Shield, still no headpiece because of Egghead, Gold Hem Black Cloak, Leather Gauntlets, Sorcerer Boots, Claranthe Ring, and can we actually pop off Havels? Where does this put? Oof. Nice big fat mid-roll. I need to get some more endurance. Alright, anyways. So, for today's episode, we're going to climb back up to Firelink Shrine, and then advance to Sen's Fortress. Anyways. Let's see. Yeah. So we have a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to get into today's. One of the things I can talk about on our climb up anyways is... yeah. So, to start with, obviously, if we're going to a place called Sen's Fortress, who is Sen? And apparently, what is it? There's some sort of connection to a Japanese, translation or something. I forget the exact details. I should have looked this up beforehand. But essentially, it's House of 1,000 Traps or something to that general effect. Interesting. And honestly, pretty accurate, just given what Sen's Fortress is. Is that also accelerated? Yeah, that looks and feels accelerated. We'll find out here momentarily. No, it is not. Now, I would just like to point out the fact that I am rocking +9 weapons, both last time, this time, and the plan is next time to also be rocking +9, just because of materials. So, it takes 1 large shard to get to +6, 1 to +7, 2 to 8, 2 to 9, 3 to 10. So, to get from 6 to 10 takes 9 total. To get from 5 to 10 takes 9. To get from 5 to 9 only takes 6. And it's a very small hit to DPS. So for my purposes, to not go absolutely have to go absolutely insane farming for the large shards, especially because I don't have a reliable way to buy them yet, it's like, nah. For the time being, I am just gonna stick with +9s. Not worth, the 10, 15 points. Depending on the weapon and scaling, maybe 20 points. It's like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna stick with good old +9. Okay. That backstab animation's ridiculous. Oh yeah, that step forward is great. That's right, this weapon really does not benefit. Ooh, one-handed moveset is actually pretty decent. I like. Yeah, just keep screaming. That's fine with me. Um, this does have the stagger property. Fair enough. So it's interesting. The entire stagger system is something that's totally removed in the later games. There is no stagger like animation on any weapons in Dark Souls 2 or 3. And Bloodborne does not have that property on any of its weapons either. Alright. Yeah, it's one of those interesting little things, and it does add a layer of depth to the gameplay of weapons like the scythe and the maces and axes, where it's like, no, if you actually land the hit, you get faster recovery animation. If you miss, it takes you longer to recover. It adds a layer of depth there. Alright. So, we have arrived back at Firelink Shrine, and we come upon an item, and the Firekeeper is missing. The dingy hood, robe, gloves, and bloodstained skirt in a black eye orb. Dead. She has been murdered. Alright, so let's take a look at equipment, then, shall we? Where's the dinghy set? Worn by the Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine, it is thought to have once been the white hood of a maiden, but smoke and ash from bonfires have darkened it over the years. Interesting details. But its true origin is lost in patches of blood. Perhaps its former wearer was maimed to prevent escape. So, interesting details there. So, it wasn't just her tongue that was injured. And we got a black eye orb. There it is. Mystical orb found on a keeper's corpse. Invade the world of the murderer of a Firekeeper to defeat the perpetrator and reclaim the soul of the Firekeeper. The black eye keeps constant watch on the city of the gods, Anor Londo. Invade the world of a murderer of a Firekeeper. And, mysteriously, although he does sometimes just leave for no reason, Lautrec is gone. Now, if you notice, his regular position, sitting right here, facing the Firekeeper. So it's pretty obvious what happened here. Lautrec had his eye on her humanity. Because Firekeepers are gnawed by infinite humanity, which apparently in gameplay terms translates to 5. Firekeeper is absent, cannot light bonfire. So right off the bat, we got ourselves a problem. Now then, let's see. Alright, so we have a few different things. To start with, we have our friend here.
Did you ring the second bell? That is incredible, I must say. But now, we have a new problem. It's noisy, it snores, and its breath is lethal. This is no laughing matter, I tell you.
Huh. Interesting.
Damn, that stench. And I was really beginning to like it here. Maybe it's time I do something about it.
That's a little ominous, friend.
Maybe it...
That's ominous. Hopefully that doesn't trigger him early. So here is what he was talking about. and you can just hear this guy gnashing his teeth.
Ah, hello. Was it you who rang the bell of awakening? I am the primordial serpent, King Seeker Framt, close friend of the great Lord Gwyn, chosen undead, who has rung the bell of awakening. I wish to elucidate your fate. Do you seek such enlightenment?
Yes.
Very well. Then I am pleased to share. Chosen undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Gwyn, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
So there, we get our next goal. So previously, from Oscar and from the Crestfallen Warrior, we learned of the Bells of Awakening, and we set out to ring those. Upon ringing them, we return to Firelink Shrine, and are told that we are now able to progress to Anor Londo to claim the Lord Vessel, to ultimately succeed Lord Gwyn.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
Talk.
Those who seek the realm of lords must brave Sen's fortress, a deadly house of traps. Many have gone before you, but none have returned. Fate has chosen you, but proceed with caution. Those who seek the realm of lords must brave Sen's fortress, a deadly house of traps. Many have gone before.
None have returned. Proceed with caution. So you're able to feed Framt items in return for souls. Now, he values some things more highly, like cracked red-eye orbs actually get a decent amount. Some items of course, are untradeable. Interestingly enough, he does not value sunlight metals. He actually values Eyes of Death more than sunlight metals. Moss to him is all the same. He does not discriminate on moss. Or firebombs, for that matter. Poop, he's okay with, for some reason. Doesn't care for Lloyd's talismans. Never mind, they specifically talk about, like, All-Father Lloyd. Alright. Let's see. So he gives you souls for, like, the boss ones. Some bosses you actually can get more. Generic soul items he actually gives you the same amount for. Now, interestingly enough, the smaller souls is actually worth more through him. So if you can save those, you can get a little boost later on. Humanity, literally at the amount it gives you. Coins. Now, coins, sole purpose is as an additional soul item to feed to Framt. They do not serve any other purpose in the game. So we could just pop this to him now and get 1,000 more souls. I'm gonna hold on to it for now. You can just feed him upgrade materials. You can feed him weapons, but for the most part, you get crap for it. It's not really particularly worth it. Arrows, he doesn't care about. Armor, generally speaking, he doesn't care about too much. Some stuff like the Fangbore helm, he values decently. But it's like, overall, Framt doesn't care. Rings are kind of all over the place. It's like...
Farewell, chosen undead. I remain here and await thee.
Yeah. But overall, feeding him stuff besides the coins and a few of the soul items isn't particularly worth it. You don't get much. One interesting mechanic from him, though, is... Sorry about that. You're able to feed him upgrade materials. Now, what he does, I'll use a green shard, for example. Feed one green shard. The green Titanite shard shattered, becoming Titanite shard. Now, I had
chosen
7.
undead.
I had 7 Titanite shards. I now have 12. So he took 1 green shard and broke it up into 5. If you feed him a large Titanite shard, you also get 5. If you feed him a Titanite chunk, you get 3 large shards. And I believe I think it's 1 to 2 for slabs into chunks, something like that. And then these break down into green ones, and you can't break these types down. Damn, we have plenty of twinkling, don't we? But anyways, that's Frampt, and he talks very highly of some of the stuff that we'll be doing in the future, and he talks a big game. He talks about how we are the chosen undead. And how we are the chosen successor for the great Lord Gwyn. But it's like, but then at the same time, he talks about all the people who have tried and failed. Oh good, another hollow soldier shield. Alright. Imminent Merchant. Very useful. It kind of tells you to come back here later on, but it's like, early in the game when you can read it, it doesn't make sense. It just kind of tips you off to come back here later. Because, man, is this guy out of the way in a weird spot, isn't he?
Aye, Shemai. I didn't expect to meet anybody here. I suppose great minds think alike, eh? I'm afraid I don't see anything here. I'm afraid...
Do I need to grease the wheel, as it were? So, he still sells basically the same stuff. And his set, which is on the expensive side. I'll take a gold pine resin.
Well, I'm certain we will make a good trade eventually, so I am willing to share some tips. If you see kindling in the catacombs, use divine weapons. That will repel the reassembling skeletons.
Nice.
Well, I'm certain we will make a good trade eventually, so I am willing to share some tips. The cursed ghosts of New Londo are formidable foes. To face them, you will require special arms, or a cursed body. The quickest way to be cursed? Try the bug-eyed lizards in the sewer. Desperate measures, to be sure.
Interesting.
You are a fine trading partner. Rumor it may be, but I have heard of a surviving ancient dragon who resides in this land. A coterie of undead serves the dragon, as they train to become dragons themselves. Sounds unlikely, but you never know, do you?
No, you don't.
I'm afraid I don't see it.
Alright, Annie's out.
Thank you. That was a fine trade. I have this funny feeling we'll meet again soon, and we'll make another fine trade, of course.
Alright. So he actually gives you a few very useful tips. The one about divine weapons is pretty good. New Londo, also pretty good. Although you can get that one explained from a few other places. But still pretty decent. His tip about the everlasting dragon is super vague. And obviously you're able to, like, you can find the everlasting dragon if you can find the illusionary walls, but it's like, his tip does not do anything for telling you where it's at. Now, just for reference, that tree way over there, and that's actually Blaketown down there, just to point that out, but that tree way over there is the Great Hollow. So, there's that. Now, with all of that, we are going to proceed on our way to Sen's Fortress. Alright. So I think this one might end up being a little bit on the longer side. Probably should have done this stuff as part of the last episode, but we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Just out of curiosity, what is the stability? 48, that's actually fairly decent. Better than expected. I think it has a low deflection type, though. Anyways. So next up, we have Sen's Fortress. Alright. Take a seat at the bonfire, which we kindled to +10 quite a while ago. Then proceed. So there we can see the gates open. Doesn't look as bad from here. Still not great, but it's in that cutscene, that mountainside looked so bad. So our friend Sigmeyer has moved on. Sen's Fortress. Alright, so, if you look, there's a little raised spot on the floor. So we're going to avoid that spot for now. Alright, so if you go off to one side and hide behind the pillar, you can aggro the one that's in the opposite corner, and then you have another one off to the side. If you don't take your time on this, you can easily end up aggroing both. So the floor switch is actually a pressure plate to shoot arrows from that little slot. And if you actually get it lined up right, you can just outright kill this guy. Now up here, we see statues of knights that look very similar to the Black Knights that we have been facing earlier through... Well, essentially through the rest of Lordran. They're kind of spread all over the place. Alright, now, to start with, I am gonna... drop down and go through here. Where we have a long, annoying ladder climb. Oh, and I completely didn't look at it, but there is video games happening over here. We'll get to video games soon enough. The rolling doesn't work on that one for some reason. So up here, we meet the giant who opened the gate for us. So right there, I actually procced bleed. Alright, so if he does his flurry... back off, and then you get a nice big free hit. And he drops a Titanite chunk, which brings our chunkage up to 8, which is enough to plus 14 a weapon. Now, while I'm actually thinking of chunks... little bit ago, I actually returned to the Great Hollow and went through getting all the crystal lizards, and I got a second slab. So that's nice. So anyways, here is video games happening up here. Just a whole bunch of swinging axes. So, a whole bunch going on down here. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so down here we have tar that slows you down, but if you throw on goddamn clipping. Iframes. Okay, that did not do much damage, fortunately. Got him. Soul of a Brave Warrior. Demon Titanite. And we get the Scythe down here. Alright. Now, down this way, we have yet another Titanite demon. Nice! Counter hit. Got him. And we get another Demon Titanite. Now, if you go down this way, you actually end up facing two of them, which is not great. Now, I personally do not want anything to do with that nonsense. Okay, that was stupid. Counter hit? Those ones are actually stronger ones, for some reason. And it's like, the two of them, no pillars for defense. That spot's dumb. There's nothing back there but them. However, there is actually a cumulative drop attached to the Titanite demons, where if you manage to defeat all of them, you do actually net yourself a Titanite catch pole, which is their weapon. And actually, that is the only way to get it. Alright. Well, that's that. Alright, well, let's keep going then, shall we? Okay. So, Sen's Fortress has a... Really, that illusionary wall respawns? That's curious, to say the least. Well, that went well. Welcome to Sen's Fortress. And honestly, this is where Sen's Fortress just gets kind of crazy and annoying. Because it's just like, come on. Oh, that's right, I do not have that. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Hello? Why did you come around that way both times? Nice. Alright. Hello? I'll take it. What is actually the damage reduction on this thing? 90? Yeah, that's not bad. Shields in general in Dark Souls 1 are super strong. Ah, it's up there. Well, that sucks. Yeah, no drinking on ladders in Dark Souls 1. I think I've checked that... I've checked that a ton of times, because it's such a nice little quality of life feature in the later games. Excuse me. Alright. Okay. That works for me. Alright. So, yeah. So Sen's Fortress kind of gets, like, very cartoony, video gamey with its traps. Now, one little note. These guys... look like they have lightning. In fact, they do not. Instead, their damage is actually magic-based, of all things. So there we get 2 Titanite shards, or large Titanite shards, which is nice. Alright, so down here, we have this Joker, who gets run over by a boulder. Alright. Now, down here we actually have another guy. So you can just get him to break that wall. For some reason, his stab attack specifically can break through the wall. Not quite sure why, or why, but for some reason, it can. Now then. Prisoner ahead. So that's your hint for this.
You seem quite lucid. A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive.
So, at current, we do not actually have the key needed. For either of these cages. Now, down this way, just a dead end where the boulders drop off. Down below, you can actually kind of see them there, is the pit where those 2 Titanite demons hang out. Interesting little bit there. Now then. Alright, so here, if you sprint, that guy's an idiot a lot of times and will charge ahead. Alright, so here they were clever. That was almost super bad. So it shoots from behind you there. Alright. So that's the sound of it shifting. Alright. So it did end up shifting back over this way. Ring of Steel Protection. Oh, I totally should switch back to that. This ring belonged to the Night King Rundle. It granted its wearer protection by boosting defense against physical attacks. Of the many legends surrounding the Night King Rendell, one of the most well-known speaks of his standing down a giant drake and slashing it to pieces. So, very heroic type guy. Alright. There we get the shuttle, which does not have anything of particular interest. But, since we got the ball to move, Sigmire has spawned.
Ho ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you.
Alright, Sigmar.
Ah, so you see my plight. Yes, indeed. I've run up against a wall, or a ball, to be precise. I must say, I'm a bit too tough to be outrunning those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, but who knows? Perhaps we'll have another development.
Oh, Sigward. Or Sigmar. Damn, their name thing.
No chance. My head is thin.
Funny guy.
Perhaps I could try some rollbar.
So Sigmar here actually killed these guys. Should be noted. So if you look here, the ramp is actually grooved from the ball rolling across. Now that little detail, if you pay attention, does carry over to the stairs. And if you look here, these stairs and path are also grooved. So here I'm going to show off a little trick. Damn it. Yep, the trick is you die. I horribly mistimed that, and then I ate it, and then I missed the landing, and then my roll off to save my life killed me. I thought it might. Yep. Welcome to Sen's Fortress, where the party never stops. Okay, I am not going to mess around. I'm just going to go for it. Anyways, let's see. So yeah, Sen's Fortress just, in general, has a lot of, like, hi friend, like, super, like, video gamey type obstacles. It's actually kind of ridiculous how this place is set up. And that wall has mysteriously fixed itself. So the guy that's here that gets totally destroyed by the boulder is a permakill. Interestingly enough. So for some weird reason, the snake men of Sen's Fortress do not trigger the pressure traps. For some reason they don't. Not sure why. Stupid standing iframes. Alright. Alright, so there's a soul item. Hello! Alright, so back that way we have a drop. And back this way, we have the Black Sorcerer set in Hush. So that is not a starting set, that is just a different type of set. So very similar in description. Cloak worn by the secret sorcerers at Vinheim Dragon School. They secretly work with soul-based spells and never reveal themselves. So Griggs is actually wearing the black set, which is of interest. And Hush. Sorcery developed by certain surreptitious sorcerers at Vinheim Dragon School. Masks all noises of caster. Effectively, Vinheim is controlled by the Dragon School, and it is no wonder that the town is its share of dark secrets. Interesting details there. So here, we unlock a shortcut door. And we actually totally get to skip by this section. Now, so that's one way to get through. So to start with, I am actually going to take the plunge here. Because there is an item over here for us. The Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. Wear produces no sound whatsoever. This ring was secretly worn by certain surreptitious sorcerers at Vinheim Dragon School. This ring is engraved with an everlasting dragon in its silent slumber, and marks all sound emitting, or masks all sound emitting from its user. So that also goes to the, as part of like the Black Sorcerer set, as you would call it. So, the timing of all this is such that you could technically sprint it all if you felt up to it. Alright. So one of the things that does not make any sense is these boulders. There's nothing making them turn and go. They just do it on their own. Now, we do have this pit. And there is actually a ladder here. And if you actually pay attention, as boulders come down, they do stack in said pit. Where's the next one? Alright, one more. One more. I don't believe there were anything here indicating this. But yes, that does end up punching through the back wall, giving you access to the covetous gold serpent ring. Now, where is it? There it is. The serpent is an imperfect dragon and symbol of the undead. Its habit of devouring prey even larger than itself has led to an association with gluttony. This gold ring, engraved with the serpents, boosts its wearer's item discovery so that more items can be amassed. very, very good for farming purposes. And should be noted, that is the only thing down this way. There is zero reason to continue in that direction. Now, here we run into a chest set weirdly to one side, chain pointing ahead, unlike the others that are curled off to the side. And then just add to it. If you get the view close to a chest like this, you can watch it breathe, which is super cool. And if you can actually get the camera just right, the lighting's not good here. You can actually clip it in and see their teeth. You saw a little bit of it there. Alright, got him. So that was a mimic. So as you could tell, there are a few different ways to identify mimics. I actually went over essentially the majority of them. So the idea is after that long stretch, you're not really thinking as much, and you stumble across the mimic and get eaten. And then you immediately have this elevator horribly splattered in blood. Now, if you actually look above, the ceiling is just made of spikes. So if you ride the lift a little extra bit, you get skewered. Alright, now, this actually brings us back to this spot. Now, up here you have all this fancy machinery that powers those pegs that just launch out and knock the boulder. Now, it knocks it in the opposite direction. So now it just gets harmlessly launched out into space. Unfortunately, not nailing that guy. That would have been hilarious if it actually lined up with him. But with that, we are now safe. Alright, so let's continue our journey up Sen's Funhouse. So this one is interesting. So that one must be sprinted. So these guys... Flamberge? Good drop. Those guys are super dangerous, because if they catch you on one of their combos, they will bleed you. And they have fairly high bleed damage, actually. So behind him we find 2 more large Titanite shards. Very, very nice. Okay. So next up, we have another one of the mage ones, guarding a very narrow bridge. So it's sets of 2. And then you have a double button set. And this leads you around to get your revenge. Because he can very, very much be a problem. And that's just a drop back to an earlier part of the level. Alright, and then we reach a fog wall. Alright, so up here, we run into our good friends, the Balder Knights. Get owned. Ooh, camera. Oh, camera. And the flame stone plate ring. Really, I always forget what's in that chest. Stone plates, the symbol of a true knight, grant the strength to face various hardships. The red stone plate symbolizes fire and boosts defense against it. Or against flames, whatever that said. 'Tis fine. Alright, so we got an item there. So we have a guy throwing fireballs at where the scorch marks are. Now, dropping off there actually brings you back to a bonfire, which is awesome. Let's see... Okay. Alright. Maybe. And this drops you back here. So a lot of people miss that particular bonfire. And it does indeed make a world of difference. Large soul of a brave warrior. 2 more large shards. So just in Sens alone, we have gotten 6 large Titanite shards. And they have a chance of dropping one besides. Shown off by that. Alright. So, way over here at this far tower, we run into an NPC. Perfect. Got me once with that arrow, though, and we get Ricard's rapier. So let's read up on Ricard. A rapier with intricate designs, intricate decorations, rather. Chosen weapon of the infamous undead Prince Ricard. Ricard's exploits are told in a monomyth. He was born into royalty, but wandered the lands in a fateful, ill-conceived journey. He became undead and disappeared up north. So he ended up working with the Balder/Bernanke Knights, and based on his armor, he was originally from Astora. Alright, Divine Blessing and Rare Ring of Sacrifice. Was that our first Divine Blessing? Think it may have... It is. Holy water from Goddess Guinevere. fully restore HP and undo irregularities. So it's talking about curing status effects there. The goddess of sunlight, Guinevere, daughter of the great lord of sunlight, Gwyn, is cherished by all as the symbol of bounty and fertility. Yeah, so you can see... Oh, you can actually kind of see through the trees, and there is forest down there. Or not through the trees, but through the fog. Interesting. And potentially distant mountains or a desert area? Fascinating. Because I was talking about that in the Ash Lake episode. Alright. Alright. So I do have enough to get a level now. So I'm going to drop off and take care of that real quick. Just on the off chance that I lose my souls. 24. Not bad. So we do have Giant over there. Didn't point him out before, but if you watch him, he picks up a boulder and drops it in the hole. So he's the thing that's dropping the boulders onto the trap. Really, really weird. Alright. So it pulls out here. Now. Whew, almost didn't make that. Over here. We meet this guy.
What? Who are you? Another undead. I took on Sen's fortress alone, but I'm no different from those vile creatures. I was driven by conceit. You think we're different? That you can handle it? Yes, I remember that feeling. For I was the same. So, let me help you out with your soul searching.
Purchase items. So he sells black fire bombs, green blossoms. He actually does sell large titanite shards and regular shards, green shards. Sells a variety of weapons, some of which really you can get them from random drops, or in the case of like the Great Axe, a set location in the world. But some of them it's like, yeah, Boulder Knight Shield random drops. Tower Knight is technically random drops. So it's the only place where you can properly get it. Let's see. Arrows. He sells the Katarina armor in the Boulder set and the Steel set, which is what he's wearing. Speaking of which, Helm of a Knight of Bernike, known for their heavy armaments and armor. Countless knights of Bernike, once extolled as the mightiest of mighty, became undead and ventured to Lordran, but their journey was for naught, as they went hollow and became a threat to all undead. Interesting bit there. Then we have the Katarina set. Shet? Okay. Distinctly shaped helm worn by the Knights of Katarina. Outside Katarina, it is often ridiculed for its onion-like shape, infuriating the proud knights, but the masterfully forged curves design makes it very effective for parrying. Yeah. Very, very odd. Leggings worn by the knights of the ancient kingdom of Baldur. They are made from thick iron plates. Baldur was the homeland of the Night King Rendil, but it came to ruin after a great many undead were spawned. So there's another reference to Rendil. Let's see, and then we have stone plate rings. But most of his stuff is overpriced.
Fine then. Rush in like a naked babe and be skinned alive.
Wait, did you have a talk prompt?
Oh yes, it's you. What is it? Still something you need, eh? Anything at all? There's nothing more to say. I'm finished. We're both on the brink, you see. End of story. You bloody fool.
Thanks.
Let me give you a nibble of advice.
Oh, you're not done
Don't
talking.
even consider visiting Anor Londo. Not in your state.
My state? What are you on about?
Tried and failed. The Night King Rendell, Black Iron Tarkus, and even Logan
Ooh.
himself. You won't stand a chance. You'll be eaten alive. But go along if you wish, if only to deepen your despair.
So there we get our first name drop for Black Iron Tarkus.
Don't even consider. For a century they've tried.
Oh.
The Night King Rendell, Black. You won't stand it. But so you're that good. Don't need a thing.
Heh.
It won't be long before you're begging for mercy.
So, with the Crestfallen Merchant here, their goal was to make him appear physically taller than you, which they succeed at, but the illusion is broken when you tilt the camera and realize he is levitating. If you kick him, he's no longer floating, and he is just a normal-sized man.
Still alive? And
Yeah, he's kind of losing it. Anyways, let's proceed down the tower here. Alright. So, yeah, this episode in Descent Fortress is gonna end up being one of the longer ones in the series. And we get the cage key. Alright. Key to the hanging cage in Sen's Fortress. If a hapless adventurer becomes fatigued during an imprudent attempt to overcome the fortress, the Serpent Men will not kill him, but lock him up in a lonely cage. Eventually, unless they have forgotten, they drag the victim off to who knows where. So there, we get the key that can actually free Big Hat Logan. So that is one of our next goals, is to take care of that little bit. Alrighty. So up there we can see the giant that's been throwing fireballs at us. Alright. Yeah, that figures. And this is just a dead end, with him guarding for some reason. Oh, and just to... not an illusionary wall. Alright. So, over here is another little detail that a lot of people miss. You're actually able to enter these cages. Which are actually a pretty cool shortcut. Alright, I was hoping I could get him to get hit by the stupid, thing, but no such luck. Stinker. Really? You managed to make it through. Alright. Nice. Gotcha. So yeah, you are able to open these and step in them, but none of them, it does not have any purpose. Use cage key.
Oh, heavens. Thank you. I'm safe, and I'd love to resume my travels.
Nice.
I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Firelink Shrine.
Nice.
Speak with me there, so that I may impart my sorcery.
Alright. Can do, man.
Oh, hello. Don't mind me. Go on ahead. I'll be along later. Whoa, I'll be just fine, young one.
Was that a laugh?
Oh, hello.
I guess that's meant to be taken as a laugh. But it's like, yeah, no reason to open some of these cages. Man, that gap does freak you out, though, doesn't it? But it's like, yeah, there's no reason to open most of these cages. They're just here. Yeah, they literally just copied and pasted the same cage down the entire line. No reason for the bulk of them there, but interesting little detail. Alright. And back up we go. Alright. Yeah, so this is going to end up being the longest episode in the series. At least so far. We'll have to see if any end up beating it later on, but I doubt it. Titanite shard. Nice. Oh, crap. I have to go human. Well, that's fine. Gotcha. Titanite chunk. Now watch this. For some reason, you can just roll through them. And over there, we can actually see our boss. Alright. So anyways, I am going to be going human at this point, now that the threat is taken care of. Speaking of which, now that we are no longer under attack, we can also go ahead and get another item. The sniper crossbow. Alright, and yeah. Nothing particularly interesting there. Alright. Now then, the plan will be to, or the plan is, rather, to come up here and turn human. Someone died. Alright, and while we're at it, we might as... Nah, just go human. Alright. Reverse hollowing. And then how much do I need to level? 13,000? Alright. So that's... Alright. I have plenty of souls, don't I? I actually need to boost my intelligence up to 15 for Big Hat Logan, don't I? Alright. Nah. Yeah, I need to boost that anyways. Alright. Now then, with that out of the way, let's continue forward. Now, I went human because there is a particular summon that I am going to use for this fight. Now then. So I am going to very, very specifically set this up so that we can get the cool thing. Now, to do that, I actually have to, well, to guarantee it, I need to, or, to guarantee it, I'm going to abuse one way that the game, works. I'm pretty sure this trick still works in the remaster. Another Titanite shard. I'll take it. So over here, and this is actually the same tower that Rendell, or Ricard rather, was hanging out in. So it's actually the floor below us has the chests. But anyways, so here we have Iron Tarkus. So the idea is we summon him, and this is Black Iron Tarkus, by the way. The guy that the Crestfallen Merchant mentioned. But anyways, the plan is to summon Tarkus, run over and enter the boss room before he spawns in. Before we get that message. Because Tarkus can actually solo him. You just have to set things up first. Alright, Tarkus. You got this, man. Yeah, bring him over this way. Tarkus, come on. Oh, not the grab, Tarkus. You gotta be careful of that. Come on, Tarkus. Ah, nice try. Tarkus. No. Get him, Tarkus. Ah, you missed. Tarkus. Come on, Tarkus. Oh, no, no, not the grab. You have to be more careful, Tarkus. Oh, man, this is not going well. Okay, that's a start. Oh, come on, Tarkus. I do not have faith in Tarkus. Because Tarkus almost fell off there. Come on, Tarkus. Get in there. Oh, no, not the grab again. Oh, no. Tarkus! Iron Golem almost threw himself off the side there. Damn. Wow, Tarkus. Oh, oh, you got the stagger. Come on, Tarkus. No, push your advantage. Yeah, yeah. You got him on the ropes now. Tarkus! What's up, man? And he did it! First try. Core of the Iron Golem and humanity. Soul serving as the core of the Iron Golem, guardian of Sen's fortress and slayer of countless heroes seeking Anor Londo. Originally, a bone of an everlasting dragon. Interesting detail there. Also, the new effect on this ring in the remaster is amazing. It looks so much better. It is super weird, though, because it is just a 2D sprite that's set to always face the camera. It does look super cool, though. Anyways. So, Tarkus can solo him without using the trick that I just used. So I entered the boss room before he properly spawned in, which resulted in the boss not getting the health boost. Which means he can easily do it. He can solo Tarkus. Or, no, Tarkus can solo the Iron Golem without that. It's just a lot less likely. Canonically, though, the fight went as we just saw, with Tarkus beating Iron Golem and proceeding on to Anor Londo in his own world. So this path here was actually the way that you used to get into Anor Londo, and it was sealed off. This is not some collapse, it was bricked over, and it's all chipped up, along with the rest of the arena, from heroes throwing down with Iron Golem and losing super hard for hundreds of years. Like, this arena has just been beaten up like crazy. I'd be really interested in seeing what this place looked like before people started throwing down here and having big duels with Iron Golem. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, so anyways, that's actually it for this one. Next time, we're actually going to return to Firelink Shrine for a couple of things, and then we're going to proceed up to the Land of Gods, Anor Londo, which lies way up there. You can see just the corner of a tower, and there's the Duke's Archives. But yeah. Anyways, so the plan... So next time, we're going to be heading up to Anor Londo, the City of the Gods. So I'm going to wrap this one up here, and I'll see all of you guys next time. Bye!